Dear representatives of the media, we just closed our discussions with my colleague, Mr. Margus Tsakhna, and the events are very dynamic. The traditional visit of introduction when the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Estonia, when he is approved in office, comes to Latvia, or vice versa, when the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Latvia assumes these duties, visit Estonia, this was very much delayed. I am to blame for this, and because of our busy schedule, we have met a lot already in the EU in different formats, and also while visiting Moldova and Odessa as ministers of foreign affairs from Nordic countries. So we have had discussions, but this was a possibility to have bilateral discussions on a number of issues. And we agreed that we have to prepare a joint meeting of both governments. The last one like that was held in summer of 2018. We also discussed the bilateral economic cooperation development for Rail Baltica project, and also we agreed that we should work more on practical issues bilaterally. And of course, large part of our discussion was dedicated to the summit, NATO summit in Vilnius. There's still time, 2 months' time to work in order to achieve that the decisions taken during this summit would be important for reinforcing our security. And also cooperation with our allies has been very good, especially in implementing joint Madrid decisions, but still there's a lot to do. And of course we talked about ways of supporting Ukraine. Ukraine in the context of NATO summit, practically in terms of politics, economy, all different kinds of support. We also talked about the International Tribunal for investigating crimes of aggression. We have identical views on this. We believe that this should be United Nations Tribunal, and so the leaders of the Russian state cannot be immune from criminal law liability. But of course, we will have to work on this. And of course, cooperation between the Baltic and the Nordic states. I believe that we both agree that we have to continue very good cooperation between the ministers for foreign affairs and ministers for defense. This should be projected also to other sectors, transport, energy, culture, digital matters. And I believe that we will work a lot also in this direction. At this, I would like to stop and ask Margus to take the floor and to speak. But as I said, indeed, one of the first meetings, which was slightly delayed, now has taken place, and we saw that we really have lots to do, and we will continue working together. And now the floor is given to Minister for Foreign Affairs of Estonia.
Thank you for this invitation. First of all, I really would like to congratulate Latvians and Latvian nation about the great victory about an ice hockey yesterday, and I'm sure that it will continue up to the very victorious results. All Estonians are really following that, and actually I told as well Edgars that yesterday evening my neighbor was shouting very loudly, but I was not following myself. I just came from the Estonian parliament, which is a bit like blocked today, and I was asking that what happened. I said, Latvia won. So I think that we are here together with you. We don't have this high-level team in ice hockey. We have some other things that we can do together. But yes, we have, sometimes it is hard to come to visit Latvia because we meet each other like every week, and we are actually daily cooperating. And this is very important at the moment, historically, I mean as well, that we share the same history, same values, and Russian aggression against Ukraine is defined our policy as well a lot. I think that, Edgars, you have been so long time in international politics, and you have felt yourself as well, maybe sometimes we have been called from some countries as hysterical politicians from Baltic states about the Russian issue and Putin. But unfortunately, we have been right. And now I think that our message is stronger and it's more seriously taken what concerns about the threat from Russian and also about the Ukrainians to support them. We are working very closely together in NATO, in EU, in a global level as well. And we discussed today as well, not only NATO summit topics, which is very important, that we will give the clear message to Ukrainians to become members in the foreseeable future. Also, not only about the EU initiative about 1 million rounds ammunition, what we are working together, 11th sanction package, what we discussed as well, and but also the international tribunal about aggression crimes. It is very, very important for us as Russian neighboring countries and the countries and nations who rely on the international law to re-establish this violation of international law about aggression. This is something we're working really hard together, and it is not only the Ukrainian problem. What we have to follow is a principle that no one should excused from the immunity. I mean that Putin and his troika must be under the trial about aggression crimes. It is very clear. But it's hard to find this kind of consensus international level, but we will manage it hopefully. But also, the last month has been real like Estonian invasion to Latvia, and it's a great proof of our good relations. We had our president's state visit here, our just elected Speaker of the Parliament had a great visit here, and during the last week I think our defense minister was here already twice, and now it's me, shortly but more deeply in the meaning of the relations. And I want to raise as well as a great cooperation about defense is the joint procurement for medium range air defense. It is really big thing, really. I used to be as well the defense minister of Estonia, and I know how hard it is to decide and to procure together, and these are the big capabilities what we are going to procure together. And also politically, it's a great sign for our allies that we do real things together. There has always the question that how much actually the Baltics are working together. So now we can show as well that this one of the biggest investment, I think, what we have done and what we do during the history, the past, we do it together. And there will be real capabilities of the air defense in our region. And of course, I really would like to thank you, Latvia, for the hospitality for the NATO air policing from Lielvarde Air Base during our Amari base is in reconstruction. This shows as well that our cooperation is crucial because air policing has been really important for our region, but now it will temporarily hold from Latvia, and I think that it is also good for the capabilities for this air base, because we do together some investments there. But anyways, our air will be safe. And of course, the NATO summit, again, we are going to coordinate our next steps, and I'm very happy that we don't have any kind of misunderstandings between each other and Baltics and Poland and our regional as well. Our voice is clear and seriously taken, and I really look forward for any kind of cooperation. It is already here, and actually I'm very happy to be here, really. I feel like home. I'm from Tartu, south part of Estonia, so I know the feeling to cross the border and come here. So thank you for the friendship, and I hope that it will last long. Thank you.
Paldies, ministra kungiem.
Thank you, Mr. Ministers. And now we have time for questions. You can put your questions in English or in Latvian, but please use the microphone and please introduce yourself. Do we have any questions?
Kishinevsky, I represent Radio Briva, Current Time Television, and I have a question for both ministers. Mr. Rinkēvičs, Mr. Tsakhna, taking into account that Baltics have an uneasy relationship with China, how do you see the future relations with official Beijing in the near future? Thank you.
Well, I think that at least I see relations with People's Republic of China and Beijing in the near future or in the not so distant future in the same way as we have it now. We do have bilateral relations. From time to time we have some discussions about some issues. Sometimes we have some discussions about international law and sovereignty. I think we have cleared that one. So from that point of view, we will continue as it stands.
Thank you. As you know, Estonia has left this cooperation frame of 14+1, but we haven't witnessed any kind of changes about the relations on the practical level. And of course, as Minister noticed as well, there are different tests or how to say, some kind of communication errors, I call them. But we cannot just follow them very emotionally. We must be very pragmatical. The second thing is that we have to understand that China has a huge influence economically all over the world, globally, and also the EU. We are not so much dependent economically with China, from China as a country, but also we must understand that China very often uses these economical relations as well politically. So we must understand how the world is looking like now and how will it look like after the Russian aggression to Ukraine. And we have to know exactly where are our values and who are our real partners in this divided world. But I think that we don't have to change anything in our political decisions because we have already these positions clear. So we are following all plans, what we have made, and we stand for the values. And I think, as a whole, that the value-based policy is nowadays more pragmatical, as it was maybe like 10 years or 15 years ago. And in such a position, we have very strong understanding what we want to achieve. And we have had this kind of discussions as well on EU level and also globally, because China is a big power in the world. But the question, as I mentioned as well, is that what are the goals and what are the values they are following? Thank you.
Paldies, ministra kungi.
Thank you, ministers. Any other questions? If we have no more questions, then we end the press conference and we wish you a nice day. Thank you.